Liverpool FC is hard as hell. United, Tottenham, Arsenal. Watch my lips and I will spell. Cause they don't just play, but they can rap as well. Liverpool FC.
Okay, welcome to another episode of the Anfield South podcast. And you know what, if you can hear the tone in my voice, I'm a happy man today. Yo, it's your boy Slim as always, forever present. Today we got a few goons with us. Boys, introduce yourselves.
God is good, you know. Sam is back in the building. Thank God for today.
God is great. Chris is here.
God is great. Times 3. Paul's here.
And finally, fourth, God is great. Waz is here in the building.
All right, boys. Well,
we turn Liverpool group into church
In
today.
it,
you know?
Amen.
Yes.
I think we all went to church today watching that game.
Technically, it was a mosque, wasn't it? So.
But we ain't even giving that goal to Salah, so forget him for a whole minute.
Nah. So we just watched, well, not just watched. Today, obviously, we played Tottenham at home. Final score, 2-1. I've never been so happy to say that scoreline in all my life. It was touch and go. Let's start with let's just start with the lineup quickly. So the back four speaks for itself. I shouldn't have to go through that. But in midfield, we went with the tried and tested Henderson, Wijnaldum and Milner, and obviously the front three was Salah, Firmino and Mane. In our podcast WhatsApp group, there was a lot of eyebrows raised at that midfield three, and I think even amongst us boys here, there was a lot of eyebrows raised at that midfield three. But we went into the game with that midfield and we came out with a result. In hindsight, would you change that midfield, Chris?
I'm going to have to give Paul some credit here because a long time ago he said to me, and I didn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it, should I say, that midfield of Wijnaldum, Henderson and Milner is Klopp's favoured midfield, and he's going to play it again and again and again. And I didn't want to believe it. But I've got to the point now where I'm being frustrated even though we pulled the win out the bag because... Like I've said before, I think we're making it hard for ourselves. I think if Fabinho starts that game, we boss it and we have a comfortable 3-0, 3-1 result. By not playing the only midfielder we have who can put his foot in, win a ball in the air and distribute it, we played into Tottenham's hands. Since the Man City game, we've been content with giving teams the initiative and allowing them to come back into games. It happened at Fulham last week, again, where we should bury teams, but we're not being aggressive. We're waiting to win rather than taking the win, and that is frustrating for me. And every time he plays that team, we run the risk of slipping up because it's just not good enough. We can't keep possession of the ball. Fabinho came on 50 minutes before the end and made more tackles and interceptions than Henderson and Wijnaldum combined.
Listen, if you're gonna say things like that, if you're gonna say things like that, you got to make sure the stats back you up. Yeah. I don't have the stats to hand.
I'm going off the eye test. And I see it. I'm going off the eye test, and what I saw is the usual indecisive Wijnaldum, who's not a box to box. He's not a holding midfielder, and he's not a creative midfielder. He just, like I said, it's like he's been hanging out with Lana. He's that kid in the playground just spinning around doing nothing, making no contribution to the game, and that's not good enough.
Let me ask you a question, Paul. Can you see why Klopp goes with that midfield?
No, honestly, can't. I think it's, I think it's like madness. I was thinking the other day, I was thinking football club, I don't know if it's true, but I'd imagine if I was an analyst, a professional analyst at a football club, you must have a spreadsheet. And you must have the team you picked, right, for each game. And then you can have all the stats, kilometers run, tackles, blah, blah, blah. And most importantly, did you win or not? And then this is like millionaires, right? This is like ITs. It should be easy to them. So there should be a formula that comes up and says, you know, what your probability of winning.
Yeah, statistically with what team.
If you can't remember, then talk to your analyst. Because I know for a fact that midfield doesn't win a lot of games, and it always seems to run out of steam. Like at the beginning of the season, I was like, "Oh, we haven't won any games with that." Well, no, around Christmas, we haven't won a lot of games with that midfield, but we did win against PSG at home.
Yeah,
but we did let him back in because, like, start of Henderson, he sort of he runs off adrenaline first hour, especially at home. And I thought he was good today in the beginning, but he always seems to run out of steam. Do you know what I mean? And when Ronaldo is with these two, it's like a bad equation or no, a bad formula.
Yeah,
three of them together. Take two of them out or take one of them out. We seem to do okay.
But
do you know what though, Paul? I think we have a bigger problem than the fact that it's always played, and we all know that it doesn't really work. It's almost like Klopp is trying to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah, I'd agree with
he
that.
knows it's not the best midfield to play for the majority of these games, but it's almost a bit of Wengeritis.
Yeah.
In the, no, I'm gonna say it's that high level of stubborn behaviour.
Fully
Yeah.
coated with Wengeritis.
Wengeritis. It's like you're trying to prove everyone else wrong, and I'm sure he'll find a way. I haven't seen the presser yet to justify why those three were played. How we controlled the game in places and whatever. And by the way, that was the most open I've seen Anfield all season.
But let me just jump in there
all season.
quickly,
People
Sam.
just running right through.
Let's be honest. In the first half, we did control the game. We were in full control of the game. So, in Klopp's mind,
these two don't.
Okay, I feel in the first half,
The reason why we
controlled the game.
didn't agree. Yeah, we spoke about it in the car. Was we only felt we looked like we were playing great because Tottenham were playing three at the back, and we always had an outball from our fullbacks. If they were playing four at the back, we wouldn't have had that space, and the midfield would have had to play. Now, because we had that space, the ball was both bypassing the midfield, and it was empty so much because we were passing it wide, and it looked like we were playing well. But I actually don't think we played that well in the first half. You say we controlled the game. Where's the game controlled every game? In the midfield.
Mostly,
there was no control in the midfield because they were running straight through. Yeah, the only time it looked like we were controlling is when we were flipping it wide and switching the play to Robinson and to Trent.
Slim, we did control. First half out, even I was surprised.
I wouldn't use the word control. That's what I'm saying because I don't think we actually had full control of it.
Control technically is like, you know, when they were switching it left to right. Even Milner got involved. Milner got involved with a left foot switch. And there was a time when Henderson passed it into Ronaldo, and I thought we controlled it quite well. They got back into it, and that's what I was saying about running out of steam. Do you know what I mean? Or when the narrative of the game changes. Now what are you going to do? Are you going to go for the second goal?
If we go goal behind, or if we go go up, you mean? Yeah. Then the next level after that, moving on to the next thing, you don't feel that midfield can move us onto that level.
I disagree that we because as soon as the second half started, they didn't run out of steam at the second half. And as soon as the second half started, Tottenham were on it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because
they changed
the
first
they
changed
their shape. So
Exactly.
it was more about what they were doing than what we were doing. Their system played into our hands.
They're a good team. They can.
No, but I'm saying I think their system played into our hands. So when Sam's saying he don't think the game was controlled, don't get me wrong, we played well enough in the first half, but I think their system covered up some of the flaws in selecting them from.
No, yeah, I get you guys' point. But going back to what you were saying about Klopp and this midfield, like, you notice now Carragher is now starting to talk about midfield. Neville started talking about it after 4 minutes. He was talking about Liverpool's midfield. And they talk about, and Carragher, obviously, he goes to Melwood. He can't start cussing people. Like, you know, he's part of the fabric. But he's starting to say, you know, oh, you don't get, like, a lot of creativity when you need it from them. And I think Klopp wants them to be solid, and like we always said, but actually, they're not solid. Because they concede so much possession. That means you're hitting on the break. 100%. Milner and Ronaldo don't... Well, Milner can make tackles. Ronaldo doesn't make tackles. He literally doesn't make tackles. Like,
None.
How are you supposed to what's it called? Transition. How are you supposed to get the ball back if you don't win a tackle?
But even when he is even when he's in his possession, and we're back, he slows it down. He spins around in a circle like he's on a disco dance floor, and doesn't release the ball. The ball gets stuck underneath his. I've never seen a player who gets the ball stuck underneath his feet as much as this guy.
I'll give you another caveat though. This is for me because I've been, you know, Ronaldo. I think he's had a good season. I just think it's the last few weeks. He seems to be playing more than everyone else. Like Henderson and Fabinho were doing this little rotation for him hot minute.
Ronaldo is the mainstay out
He's
of that
the
midfield.
mainstay. Today, the first sub I would have done was about 65 minutes. If Klopp wants to keep this new safe guy, Fabinho for Ronaldo and keep it ticking over. And even played Fabinho in the 8 and say, oh, okay, you, because I wanted Henderson, when he was going to play 8 against Everton United, I thought he was going to press ahead. He couldn't really do it. Do you know what I mean? But he actually wasn't bad against United for pressing ahead. But Fabinho could probably do it. So if he wants to keep two holding players in midfield free instead of a double pivot, then that was the perfect time. But Ronaldo seemed to play. And when Henderson got taken off, which I thought was a mistake, should have been Ronaldo, and then it went 1-1. How many times were we hit on the break? And I was thinking, we're playing 4-2-3-1, and I can only see Fabinho on the left-hand side of the screen going, and Ronaldo's like jogging after him. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? You're playing in a 4-2-3-1 now. Do you not know where you're playing?
But do you not think that's because we were chasing the game hard at that
Doesn't
point?
matter. You're still in that formation.
We were
That's
still
a
a little bit too
That's a
open.
4-2-4.
We were still a little bit too
It's a
open, even though we're chasing the
4-2-4.
game.
And he was, look, you can still push ahead. This is your double pivot. This is your base. This is Ronaldo. This is Fabinho. Go like that. Don't go fucking over there. This is stay here. Go this way, so you can run backwards, run like laterally. Is it laterally?
And it's not as though he's going to go forward and contribute. Stay your ass back, man. Stay your ass back, man. Know your role.
Well, let's have it right. The Ronaldo we see playing for Holland isn't the same Ronaldo
Oh
that
my God.
returns
It's
to
his
Anfield.
cousin. They need to check his passport.
You know, every time I watch Ronaldo for fucking Holland, yeah, I have to go. I was like, is that Frank Rijkaard? Like,
He's amazing for
he
Holland.
looks like
He's
loose. No, like
absolutely amazing
talking
for
about the
Holland.
body
Yeah,
shape.
but the
He looks
freedom
loose and-
he's given to play for Holland is completely
So
different.
hold on,
No, that's
hold
bullshit
on.
again.
So that's what I was going to ask
That's
you. So
bullshit.
Waz, do you think what's his name that's at Holland now? I forgot if his name escapes me.
Ronald
Koeman.
Koeman.
Koeman. Do you think Koeman does give that license to Ronaldo to get
Yeah,
forward
he
a lot
does.
more than
100%
Klopp?
he does. Because every game we
I'm
see
talking
Holland
to
play.
Wazza.
I'm sorry.
No, of course he does. I mean, I've watched a couple of Holland games, and to see the goals he's scoring and the runs he's making, I'm thinking that's surely not the same player we have. To be fair, the last time I see Ronaldo do performance like that is when he was playing for Newcastle,
Yeah.
and he was scoring what 15 goals a season.
Yeah.
Has he even scored 15 goals for us in his whole career so far?
No.
Well, there you go.
He's made 15 tackles.
Anyway, listen. Let's not spend too much time on the midfield, yeah, because I don't want to turn what is a positive result into too much of a negative. I understand a lot of people get frustrated with that midfield three, and a lot of the feedback in the Anfield South podcast WhatsApp group, is when Jordan Henderson plays, it's not good. Now, whilst I understand we all have our individual players that we don't particularly like to see on the team sheet, I still feel when those 11 men cross that white line, we should back them fully.
100%.
Yeah.
But that doesn't stop us from wanting to voice our concerns.
No, and I'm all for critiquing and voicing concerns. I just feel like the game should play out before we start throwing out too much judgment on what's on that team sheet.
I think it's going to be almost impossible to do that. I agree with you. You're right. But
It's emotion, isn't it?
yeah, I think because we've got such a vested interest in, and we're close, we're good, we're a good team.
But I know what you're saying, but that's why I disagree with you, because if you have got so much vested into it, you want them to win. Why would you not want to throw positivity into it?
but
I'm just asking the question.
No,
I'm just telling the
think-
truth. I just speak the truth. It's football, isn't it? Like, we're talking about football. Some people say, some days I think, why am I even wasting my time? It's not actually important. Do you know what I mean? Some days it's the most important thing in my life. Not kids. No, I'm not talking about those. But, you know what I mean? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So everything I do on WhatsApp or talk about is very natural. Just and interesting. Like, I'm interested. The team sheet comes out. I'm thinking tactically. Sorry, Chris. That's what I'm saying. Is emotion.
No. I think it comes back to just because for me anyway, I think we could be making things easier for ourselves. I just think
What with the team selection?
with the team selection, with the delayed substitutions, we can see it. We're smart. Klopp's an incredibly smart guy. He's the reason why we got into this position in the first place. That's why it's frustrating, because in the past he's put together the right team. He's made those right decisions, but now he seems to have regressed slightly, and he's a little bit more. I mean, even if he selected that team and he had a reason behind it, why did he wait so long to change it?
But Chris, do you think he actually believes he's picking the correct midfield for these big games, or he's just doing it to prove a point?
My honest opinion is that he's bottling a little bit. He's gone from heavy metal, cut your neck off football to ridiculous conservatism. He's gone completely
But
backwards.
that's not a bad thing, because that's got us where we are this season.
But be conservative, but you've got to have a balance. You can't go completely in reverse. You've got to, do you know what I mean? Ease back a little
I
bit.
don't think he's thinking it's just a conservative thing. It's everything now seems to be psychology with us now, because we're on the running, right? There's a reason why. There's a reason we're not getting, or a reason that shouldn't be about football, is why he's picking that free midfield. I haven't got problems with them individually. I support them, but I'm just going back to the fact that when those three have started, especially since Ox. Because do you remember arguing with people saying they go, "Oh, he's picking the midfield that got us to the Champions League final." No, it's not. It was Oxlade-Chamberlain. Who went out in the first leg of the semis, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? And then that
Roma,
midfield, forgive me not being funny, but kind of limped us over the line. We lost against Rome. We lost, obviously, against Real Madrid, which is whatever. And then all our results since then, they're not that positive, not very positive. I think Carragher dropped a statistic today from that midfield three in the Premier League games anyway, and it's not pretty.
Okay, all right. Well, like I said, let's not dwell on the midfield three. We've touched on it. Let's go to a few more positive things.
Oh, sorry, see, I always do that. Sorry,
always do this,
I know.
Paul.
But I just want to say the last thing, because I said it in our WhatsApp group when I saw the run in, and after he played Henderson, United and Everton, I said to the guys, he will play that midfield three or Henderson in the 8 against Tottenham. He'll do it against Chelsea. And he'll do it in a good couple of Champions League games as well. So, guys, get used to
Paul
it.
has spoken.
You're 1 for 4 because there's Chelsea to go and 2 Champions League games to go.
And so one thing I'd say, I think we could all agree that Fabinho is our best midfielder. There's 6 games left in the Premier League, and we don't know how many games in the Champions League.
What's Fabinho thinking right now?
He should start every game. He's our best midfielder. Whatever the configuration is around him, I'll leave that to Klopp, but there's no way Fabinho should not be playing.
What's he thinking right now? Like, if you think about it, like the Bayern Munich game and the Tottenham games are easily the most important games this season so far. He's not in the first team.
No, but Paul, do you know, we spoke about this when you jumped out the car earlier on, and we was like, do you know what? Thank goodness that Fabinho's form and the way he plays hasn't been affected, and his confidence hasn't been knocked by the fact that he's getting dropped for these bigger games. Because he knows I'm the best midfielder in this squad. He knows that. And when he comes on, he snaps back on straight away. And there's no difference in the level of performance. And so, in terms of what he's thinking, I don't think he cares, because I think he truly believes in his ability, and he knows.
Won't care.
Okay.
He knows.
Well, as you can see, guys, I've lost control of the boys because they just can't get off the midfield.
It's Paul, man. It's Paul.
So I've been
I'm
slim.
on mute,
I'm just going to leave this. No. All right. No more midfield, boys. All right. No more midfield. I fully appreciate all your points, and I know it's a touchy subject for most of our fans and a lot of our people in the WhatsApp group as well. But let's move on. I'm going to come to you, Warren, and I'm going to ask you this question. Yeah, I love this question, hate this question because it sounds stupid, but key moments in the game. Can you pick out a key moment in that game?
Yeah, I can.
Go on, man.
Van Dijk, the tackle he made.
That 2-on-1.
And to be fair, I mean, anyone who knows me, most of my Sundays are very relaxed, very quiet. I'm a quiet person. But that counter-attack, when I saw Song on one side...
It was Sanchez. No, it was
Sissoko. And the Song running, and I thought, shit, this is it. I actually thought, this is it. Everything was happening. Time went in slow motion. I thought, I didn't think challenge is over. I just thought they're going to score. But when cleverly he forced Sissoko to go through, I thought, either this is a masterpiece move or it's going to be an epic failure if he puts it back in the net. When it went over, I literally remembered I flew off my bed. I think I threw something across the wall in celebration like we just won the league. But that for me was the turning point, because if that went in, it was game over.
Yeah.
Masterful.
Yeah, of course.
It was brilliant performance.
I'm glad you brought it up. Let me just give a quote from, I think it came from Van Dijk, about that piece of defending. Hold on, I've just got to find it. Sorry, give me a second. I haven't got it. Now I'll find it in a second. I'll get it. But yeah, that was some of the best defending I've seen in my lifetime.
He was probably doing quick calculations. Sissoko on his left foot. He's not a great finisher.
And so he knows his opponent.
Now refresh my memory as to what the quote is. I can't find it, but it goes something along the lines of, I know Sissoko was right-footed, so basically he was happy to force him down on his left and to cut off the angle and force him onto his left.
Don't want to give it to Son.
Obviously, he trusted his goalkeeper enough to say, if you do get a good shot off, my keeper can save it. But what defending?
So how much did we pay for him again?
75 pence?
I will say, though, I think Robertson's
tackle
in the first half where he got in front of
block against Eriksen,
that was for me, he's been not poor, but a little bit off his usual 10.
Back post stuff. Yeah.
But it was brilliant. It was brilliant. It's the energy and the intelligence. You know me, I'm an IQ guy. I don't
Love the brains,
I'm
innit?
telling you, you know, at home and watching my television as well. But
Some of you might have missed that one.
but yeah, it's nothing beats an intelligent footballer. I take intelligence over ability any day, because there've been plenty of talented footballers who've never made it. But players like Robertson, who it's just heart and soul and you know what I mean, and IQ. Then for me, that's the ultimate combination in the footballer. You know.
Well
So
said.
you say the Robertson moment, Warren saying the VVD moment. Any other key moments, Sam, you can think of in the game?
No, we
Positive
spoke. We spoke about it in the car. To be fair, it was just that moment with Van Dijk.
With Van
Because
Dijk.
you couldn't ask for a better person to be in that position. Yeah, because if Giraffe was there, Matip, you know, it's a goal. In fact, there's no other player on the pitch that could have manipulated that situation into a
his
positive
advantage,
result.
yeah.
I reckon
And
if
you know,
Lovren was
you're
there,
talking
then-
about IQ, innit? Yeah, Sissoko has 0. 0. Yeah, because you could see it. It was just pure brute force. I'm going to score.
And I think he was like, I don't want to. I don't want this. I don't want this smoke. Was
No. He wanted that moment. You could see he wanted that moment because his head didn't even tilt a slight little angle to his right.
No.
It didn't even tilt.
I have to watch it again.
Because all he was looking at was the ball and the goal.
No, I saw hesitation. He looked like all he wanted to do was give it to Son.
I think
No,
I'm a very
I don't- I don't-
I didn't see it,
I
man.
saw hesitation.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
As funny as that was, Sam, I think I saw hesitation
yeah.
because I think he wanted to give it to Son.
yeah,
but
If he
you
wanted
could
to
see the
score, it
angle
would have
was
gone
cut
straight
off.
towards the goal.
I think-
if he wanted to score and he went straight towards the goal, that might have even forced VVD's hand. Because if it's more of a panic, if he's going straight, even
Yeah.
fuck. Well, actually,
Yeah, let
because
me go-
because
yeah.
So you actually think for a moment he wanted to pass?
Yeah,
I think Van Dijk intimidates
definitely.
he
people.
doesn't
Yeah.
want. If he knows Sissoko, he doesn't want to shoot on his left
Yeah,
foot.
he wanted to pass.
Wow.
But
It was a move that would have made
Van Dijk
sense. That's a
mind-tricked him
training ground
differently.
move.
People, he intimidates people. Genuinely, you can see. I've seen people run back for the ball, and they don't. Once they see him, they give up.
Sam, you were
Do you know
saying
what- do you know what he did a
held
lot to Kane
out.
today?
Yeah,
They give
he
up.
handed off
Yeah.
Kane. The ball would come over the top, and he literally went
yeah.
like that.
I'm not
Just
gonna get it anyway.
Just enough.
Yeah.
And Kane would just step off, and then
Careful,
Van Dijk
man.
wins the header.
Triceps is
He's
still
gotta be-
strong, man.
Sorry.
To me, do you know what's actually what I liked about that defending is that a lot of people were giving Van Dijk stick for his performance and for Holland, and Serge Gnabry sort of turned him inside out a little bit in that game, and a lot of people gave him a bit of stick.
I didn't
and
see
he
it.
just came today and showed why he's probably one of the best defenders in the world.
Do you
at
know
the
who
moment.
mentioned that? It was Dirk Kuyt. He said, whatever happens with Van Dijk, it doesn't take him 2 or 3 games to regain his form. It's the next moment in that game.
Yeah.
The same way he switched back on after the mistake against Fulham.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just carries on. It's like nothing's ever happened, and he's just back to 100%. It's like, bro, we got a snip. We got absolute snip at 75p.
My
mate.
moment
So,
was the goal, the Salah's forced goal, the own goal. Outrageous piece of luck for us. Do you know what I mean? But we were pushing again. We haven't let the moment go. We're still top of the league.
So, seeing you talking about Salah's goal, do you feel, because when I watch Man City, I look at them and I feel like they always believe they're going to score a goal. Did you see that in us today?
Yeah, I think so. Not in every game. Not in every game.
I'm saying today.
Today,
specifically.
it felt like we didn't give up. We after that Firmino chance, I thought it might
What,
be
the
difficult.
chance where it just hit him?
Yeah. Well, I can't really call it a chance, but I felt that we looked like we were going to score, or we could score.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like we couldn't score again before.
Not in the same way as maybe City or how we have in some periods of the season, because I didn't see I thought we looked a bit disjointed
It
and
wasn't fluid enough.
it wasn't fluid. We weren't actually creating lots of chances, were we? Or but there's something in them that they're still going.
But that's what I'm saying. Fair enough, it might not have translated to what we did on the pitch, but in the players in themselves, could you
can
see the
it.
belief?
Yeah, they seem calm.
And I think, do you think we're going to need that with the running? The last 6 games now.
We're nervous.
We're gonna
a little bit
need
nervous.
that. No, but we're gonna need that belief going forward.
That's what I mean,
Otherwise, otherwise,
Might be over some natural ability that they all have. Might just be a self belief that actually we're destined to win it. So let's just keep going.
The thing is, I don't think we were nervous today. I don't think we played nervous. I just think Klopp's management of the game allowed Tottenham to gain some momentum. I don't think we didn't. There weren't too many nervy moments in terms of us making mistakes. So there was 1 or 2 little misplaced passes, but I don't think we were nervous. I think we looked professional.
Maybe Klopp's nervous then.
Yeah, I think that's what I said. I think it is. I
Can't
think
blame him. Do you know what I mean? Can't blame him.
So, man of the match, boys.
Ooh.
Tricky one.
Robertson.
Robertson, yeah.
I'd go for
That was a wicked cross for that Firmino goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, beautiful.
It's a wicked cross.
I think both the fullbacks played well.
Yeah.
Was Robertson at fault for the Tottenham goal? Can you blame him for that?
Not really. I mean,
No,
it
it
was a
was good.
scuffed cross on his way back. He was just trying to get into position,
I
and it
think-
wrong-footed everybody.
I'm not blaming Henderson. But he could have. I'm not blaming because it's when he could have stood on the ball. I thought.
No, I agree with you there. Watching it back, he was too busy complaining that
Yeah,
it was
he-
the
he
free
wasn't
kick,
even looking.
and he turned away to
Yeah.
run. And I think his first thought should have been, "Let me stand on the ball so
When-
he can't take a quick free kick." But I think when a free kick's given away in that area, in the middle of the field, you're not thinking there's going to be much danger from it.
No.
I'm not saying this is right.
No, I mean,
Let me
no, I
just play
agree,
devil's
yeah.
advocate
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a second. That position, if you give away a free kick in the midfield, there's certain times where you don't mind giving away a free kick, a counter attack. You chop them down in the middle of the park. You're not expecting danger after that. So maybe hence why he wasn't switched on.
Yeah.
But I still feel he should have stood on that.
Do you know what it
ball.
was, Slim? Once, if the free kicks happened, Kane went down himself, didn't he? So you're kind of watching Kane. Kane puts it down, pulls his socks up and stuff. Then you just walk back, don't you? Kane's first thing was to get up.
Yeah.
So you just fucking fly in there. That is powerful. That's a natural.
Even if you get a little bit of a booking for being in front of the
You
ball,
hold the booking at that point.
because you don't want him to take the. It was happening, but
Yeah.
he turned into.
To be fair to Henderson, it looked like he was just thinking like shape. Let me just get back in
Yeah,
position.
get back into shape,
And
yeah.
he didn't think laterally at that point, okay, let me spoil a little bit. And some players don't naturally do that. When we spoke in the car about it, and we said if that was Fabinho, I think he would have stood on the ball purely because he's got that international intelligence and IQ to think, oh, hold on, let me just make sure everything's okay behind me. But
Actually, you know what?
I
The
mean,
more
I wouldn't blame Henderson for that.
You know what,
Certain people in the WhatsApp
Sam,
group, though.
the more I think about it now, and obviously he still had went over there. The more I think about it, actually, no, fuck that. You don't need to be international. I've seen League 2 players do that. That is a
Common sense.
That is a
Standard on the ball is
standard
basic.
thing.
It's
Yeah.
basic. I mean,
If-
But
if
I'm
you
not,
see-
I'm not calling him out on it. That's what I'm saying. It's a good point you've made, but I don't think he should be held to account for that particular moment.
Maybe
in
it
the
goes
game.
back to
I
what
think
Paul was
it's a
saying that
little
he's tired.
talking point.
Maybe it's because you go back to what you were saying that he's been running out of steam.
No.
Sometimes.
He wasn't tired at that point.
wasn't tired.
Well, I
wasn't
mean,
tired
it's
at
a
that
mental
point.
fatigue. He's not the brightest in the first place. So if he loses and if he loses and if he's in a coma, then at
But
that
then
point,
saying that, okay, look at it like this, saying that after that free kick switched out to our left, there's other opportunities to intercept the ball, if you see what I mean. So it's gone out that to Trippier. Robbo now has a chance to intercept it. He's crossed it into Eriksen. Eriksen scuffs it, but he's near enough free when he scuffs it. I don't think there's anyone quite close to him when he scuffs it. So then who was marking Eriksen? Yeah. And then obviously Lucas Moura sweeps it in. Who wasn't close enough to Moura? Like Robbo was close enough to Moura when he had that chance. Who wasn't close enough to Moura?
Matip, was it?
Because the ball went behind him and in typical
Yeah, but
Matip
those are-
tradition, he looked clueless and ready to start bark orders at someone else, and it's always him.
There you
But
go.
this is the chain reaction of when your opponent takes a quick free kick.
Yeah, people
you
get
take
caught
a quick
out-
free
yeah,
kick to
100%,
get the other team out of
No,
position.
I hear you, but then the same way we're saying Henderson didn't think, the players behind him didn't think, because at the end of the day, if no one stood on it, when a free kick happens, your first thought should be, right, let me get back into my shape. Yeah, where's my man type thing. So if they've taken a free kick, you're kind of not concerned because you know where you are, you've got your man. Yeah. So that way, like you said, the free kick come over. If you're set, that doesn't happen. So you're right. I don't think you can call Henderson out on it too much because there was other opportunities for that to be cut out.
I wouldn't
I wouldn't go mad over that. Yeah, I wouldn't
the
go mad
goal
over it.
wasn't his fault. I just thought it was the interesting thing that maybe we should have. But the goal's not his fault, is it? I mean, that's
No, we were caught as a team on the hop.
Yeah.
You know, it happens. I mean, it was a great piece of play from Kane. I mean, who I thought was shackled completely for most of the game.
Oh, he
by
was
the
so
way.
quiet
But
today.
it's like we were unlucky in that the first cross wasn't even on point. The second cross was scuffed, and because we were so out of shape, there was nobody tracking back. There was nobody in a place
Is that
to make a
midfield again?
challenge.
Like in general, because we do concede quite a few
I
goals or
wouldn't call it.
chances where we've got people running onto us. You know when it's sort of got the deflection, boom, 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 and there's always a free man running in there and no one tracking him.
Well, that's if the ball's gone behind the 6.
Yeah, but if it's gone behind the 6 and the 2-8 still needs to have a spin round sometimes. Like just like when we were saying about does Ronald Koeman give Ronaldo more freedom. I'm not sure what their actual formation is. I'm not sure if he's playing like number 10 or like an 8 in a 4-3-3, and he's like, you know, there's two sort of attacking midfielders behind a striker, not wingers like Salah, but you know, like a Draxler and whatever. He's still playing 8 for Liverpool. Klopp won't stand there and say, "Oh, Winnie, come here. Yeah, don't shoot today." Like, he's not going to say that.
Did you notice the difference in the second half though? Like from early, that Winnie was actually running ahead of the ball in the second half. So that for me, it seemed like a change in approach because he didn't do that in the first half.
I forgot he was playing for the last.
He doesn't do it because he doesn't do it. I think he doesn't do it because he doesn't do it.
He's not told to sit a lot of the time.
No. It's, you use your brain. I don't.
We're letting the handbrake off here, boys. We're going down the hill.
Take control, host. Take control.
I agree with Paul on that one.
Let me just pull up skirt.
I just agree with Paul. You do use your brain though. I think me and Paul have had this discussion / argument on many occasions. As much as I think Klopp mismanaged the game today, and I'm not going to go in anymore about that, I think as a professional footballer, you have to be able to understand and read the game, understand what you're doing on the pitch, understand what your role is, understand how you can benefit your team and disrupt your opponent. Wijnaldum does not do that.
Okay.
Thank you, Christopher.
Period. Full stop. Anyway, back to the original question. Man of the match. Just give me one name. Just give me one name, boys. Go on.
Robertson. Oh, sorry.
Robertson.
Paul?
Yeah, it wasn't really standout. I think it's just, in the end, it was a good team effort in the end. Robertson, maybe, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Chris?
Yeah, Robertson.
Robertson 3000.
Firmino had a good first half, didn't he?
I said one name, bro.
Sorry.
Hey, discipline that you.
I'm telling you, want the seat? Do you want the seat? You want the seat? All right, listen, guys. I don't know what's going on here, man. I'm losing control, man. Yeah, someone drop me a comment, man. Tell me if we should ban Paul.
Trying to get you back down to earth
for a few weeks. You know what I mean? Like,
Talk sport star.
Yeah.
Oh, can I just say, listeners, everyone, I have to commend your appearance the other day, because after my fabled appearance when that Arsenal guy didn't turn up and I held court on my own, I didn't think any broadcaster
would have us back.
No.
Would
get to that level. Like, Question Time emailed me and saying, "Do you want to come and be the new presenter?" and all this sort of stuff. I was like, I can't even get a gig of my own podcast.
Yeah, okay.
No, but guys, you need to watch. He was brilliant.
Again, thanks again, Paul, for the opportunity. And it was a bit of a lamb to slaughter when I went up to TalkSport, because I had a Man City fan on there, and obviously,
and he was a bit of a
he was a stato, He had a book and everything, guys. You obviously radio, you couldn't see. He had a book with everything written down. He was ready to attack. But you know what? I like to think I held my own. And if you want to hear it, listen back on the TalkSport app. I think it was last week Thursday. Yeah.
I will repost the link.
Yeah, but we'll repost the link on our Instagram. If you're not following us, you better get following us. You know what I'm saying? Anfield_South1 on our Instagram and at South Anfield on Twitter. But anyway, I guess Robotron 3000, man of the match for today. Yeah, we all agreed on that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right then. Let's talk about Mohamed Salah. I'm a little bit hesitant to call it a decline in form, but I'm going to call it that. Yeah. What do you make of his decline in form? What do you put it down to? Is it his confidence?
Can I jump?
Is it his attitude? What is it?
Please let me just say, I don't think it's a decline in ability. However, I'm worried that he's playing for himself and not the team. I'm worried that it's Wolves' last game of the season. And Mane standing there.
Don't say it.
Okay.
Don't say it.
Okay. No. Sorry. I apologise.
Don't put out that bad energy.
I'm never one who's called for him to. Well, that might be a lie. I don't want him to be dropped, but I'm concerned that he is playing for. There was a moment in the game today. Again, slide the ball through to Mane. Just slide.
It was the reverse of Fulham. When Mane gave it to Salah, that should ring a bell.
Slide the ball, please. It's not about you. It's not about. I don't care if Alisson scores all the goals until the end of the season. It's there's 25 men in the squad trying to win a title, plus backroom staff, plus fans. We're all trying to win a title. Do not make it about you. It's not about you. It doesn't matter if you score. You can see him there.
Let Sam
pass
step
the
in.
ball.
Go on, tell him.
Do you know, Chris? I think it's too late to even make them requests. Like, if anyone saw his interview after the game, you can see this is a guy that's fully playing for himself. He had a rant on there to Jamie Carragher about the players that have been criticised and not criticised.
So now you want my seat. Now you want my seat.
Was you going to come to this? Was you going to come to this?
Hey guys, I don't think I'm needed anymore. This might be the last time you see Slim. You know.
You know what? You better DM him or something because he's feeling unloved right now. Like.
Game of Thrones, Anfield South.
Okay.
Do you know what it was?
All right. I'll let you get back to it. I've got what he said here.
Go for it.
We'll quote what he said here. He said the important thing was to get 3 points. He said, I haven't scored for a couple of games, but there are some players who have the same number of goals as me, but are having the season of their lives. I'm supposed to be having a bad season.
Oh, that's fair enough.
What do you make of that, Warren?
You don't make that statement.
I just think it was inappropriate.
Yo.
Oh, was you asking me?
I asked Warren.
Sorry.
What you made of that statement. Warren, what do you make of that statement, bro?
It's all about me.
I
don't want it to be, but it does sound like it's a me comment. It was basically saying, look, you lot can watch what these guys doing. I'm doing what I need to do. Granted, it's a team game we're playing, but it does sound like it's coming across, it's about me.
Would you say he's coming across a little bit arrogant?
Yeah.
Jealous.
Massively.
Jealous.
Do you know what it was? Before they went live, Carragher had mentioned to him on the interview saying that Salah had just said to him, "Oh, have I been credited the goal? Am I the match winner?" I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where are you going with that? Like, you just pulled out a massive victory, yeah, as a team, yeah. And what seemed to concern him was whether he was going to be credited with the goal.
The wrong attitude.
Now, that's just stupidness because you know as a professional.
But don't they say every good striker wants to claim?
Not that one. Not that one.
No, I'm not. Not talking about that one. I'm just saying in general, every good striker tries to claim a goal.
But not that one. That one was just foolishness. And it's like him saying that. I was watching the interview and I was thinking to myself, and I said it to Paul in the car. I'm beginning to dislike this guy, you know.
Wow.
I'm actually beginning to dislike this guy. He seems to be so self-consumed with what he can do, yeah, what his headline's going to be, that it's actually going to be a negative effect on the team. He's done it several times in terms of making the wrong choices, yeah, when he's on the field of play. You can do it once or twice, yeah, but certain times it clearly seems deliberate, like when you're not passing to somebody in a better position. Yeah, at the end of the day, as you said, Chris, we're all trying to win a title, yeah, and for me at the moment, his contributions are somewhat negative, and if he's going to play like that for the rest of the season, it is going to have a detrimental effect on us. And there is going to be a moment when we look back and think, rah, do you know what? What if he wasn't thinking of himself at that point? You know, I just didn't like the way he came over.
Okay, fair enough. But I'm gonna play a little bit devil's advocate again because I feel like every time I come here, I keep forgetting the milestone. It's some 50th what? Is it? There's a milestone.
The quickest Liverpool striker to get to 50
so there's
goals.
a milestone he's trying to reach, and I feel like he's trying to get that monkey off his back. I don't feel like he's all about him. I just feel like he's trying to get that monkey off his back. And if I look at that chance that he had to slide the ball to Mane, one thing I teach my under-8s about playing football is don't take up other people's space. Now Mane's made a run, but how it's panned out, why it's panned out that way, is Mane's actually standing right next to him. So for him to slide the ball to him or him to shoot, they're basically both in the same position. There's a defender standing in front of them and Mane's right next to him if you look at it closely. So sliding the ball, there's every chance that defender cuts that pass to Mane out a little bit.
Nah, they weren't adjacent.
They weren't adjacent.
Mane was
slightly ahead of him. There was an opportunity to pass it, but it was about 3 or 4 strides before Mane became in a bad position.
Exactly.
That's what it was. He got the ball. We were 2-on-2 virtually,
yeah,
and he could have slid it through after about 2 or 3 strides, but he went 3 or 4 strides, and then obviously cut on his left because he wasn't going to go on his right.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it was obviously blocked.
100%.
It was there. It was there. I don't think it was. It wasn't, as Ryan said in the group, it wasn't the most amazing run, but it was a clear enough run, to play a pass through to.
Exactly.
I've got a few points on Salah, like positive and negative, whatever. But I will add, when we done that podcast at my house, and it was just audio, I said it then. I was like, this guy will go to Real Madrid. You know, if this guy is this, if he was wanted, he would leave because he is like a godhead figure at the moment in Egypt. And he's putting himself, I think he's putting himself under pressure. And he did it during the World Cup. And I think he's frustrated after this horrible injury and stuff to be someone who's going to make people rise. And, you know, he doesn't need to do that. I saw an article where some of the Egyptians was going, mate, we don't slaughter a goat every time Salah scores a goal. So he's putting pressure on himself unnecessarily. And I think he wants to be the biggest he can to be a shining example to Egypt, which is it's a good thing, but it's to the depth in terms of he's thinking about other people, but he's putting unnecessary pressure on himself. Do you know what I mean? And on the positive side, he's scored 32 goals last year, Premier League goals is the record. Now, before this first half, when I thought he was passing and moving, he has been really greedy. Me and Chris argued about it before, and I was saying, you know what? For all we know, Klopp says when you see the goal, shoot, because statistically it might go in because he's accurate. But at the moment, because he's not scoring, it's to the detriment of the team because he's trying to shoot when he's off form, and before when it was going in, now he needs to lay it off and just play with others, get involved.
Sorry, with all due respect for all, that's not acceptable to me because last year there was a situation when Mane didn't pass. It was an Everton game. He didn't pass, and he got rightly crucified for it. Yeah. I don't care about whatever monkey's on Salah's back. Buy a bigger coat so that monkey can fit in there. Hug it. You understand? I don't care. We want to win the title. We're trying to win the title. You do what's best for the team. You do what's best for the team. Every time you do what's best for the team. There's a pass there, and he's done it 3 or 4 times this season. Make the pass. We don't care about
Chris,
your 50 goals.
We know that already.
We celebrate that after the game.
Quicker.
Take pressure off your team and your teammates and the fans. Make the right decision. When it's time to score, everybody will celebrate. Even when Mane scores, they still sing the Salah song. So I don't know what you're pissed about. Pass the damn ball, please.
No one's disagreeing. I think we all agree. What I was trying to do is think of the reasons why this is happening. Do you know what I mean? It's a different player. He's playing different. He was the first half today. I thought he played really well. That is Salah from last season. Player 1, 2, and then another thing as well. No, I'm not talking about midfield.
But wait a minute. Didn't Salah say? I'm just having a flashback to the beginning of the season when there were various interviews regarding Salah, and they asked him what was his goal for this season. He said he had 2. One was the league. The second one, he said he wasn't going to tell anyone. Now, seeing how he's playing this season, what do you think that one could be?
It was a goal target.
Top goal scorer.
Yeah, he's top goal scorer.
I think he wants the gold. I think he wants the golden boot again.
But hasn't he realised though that it means absolutely nothing? He won it last season, and what did we win?
Nothing. Yeah, but isn't it good to set personal targets?
No, it's great to set
not when they override the target.
Of course not. No,
can I go back again to him asking whether they credited him with the goal?
I back him for that.
Could it not be just a genuine question? Does there always have to be something behind it?
No.
Like, could you not just be go on, man?
No. I understand what you're saying, but remember when Harry Kane did that shit last year?
Exactly. Harry Kane asked a question.
We got cussed actually.
Why do we think it's something sinister? Could it not have just been, oh, by the way, Jamie, have they credited me
because
that
of what Sam just mentioned? Because of the quote Sam just mentioned.
No, but
that then arms the next
but
comment.
let me go to that quote.
Okay.
That quote, he's been getting a lot of stick. A lot of even people, other fans that I know, are calling him a one-season wonder. And to be honest with you, what he says, I make him right. Everyone's saying he's struggling, but he's still at the top of the goal scoring charts, along with other players. And they're having a season of their life. Hold on. So what's wrong with that? What's wrong with what he said?
You know what's wrong with that? Because for me, if you're thinking about your team, you can take criticism. You're a grown man. Your comment is, it's about the team. We won. I'm happy.
But I disagree with you because you when you get so much stick, there's only so much stick you can take before you want to speak out on the situation. And he has been getting it for a long time. He's for how many weeks? How long has it been since he hasn't scored?
By him speaking out about it, he's made it worse for himself. Because he's going to get more stick now based on him trying to claim the goal.
What are you saying? Because he fishing and he bit? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 100%.
That's not fair.
Can I ask you a question? Sorry, can I ask one question? You know that comment? Was he talking about another Liverpool or was he talking about other players? Or is he talking about Liverpool?
He's talking about other players.
Other players, man.
Top scorer league.
I just want to make sure.
That would be deep.
Yeah,
I would back Salah for that statement saying other people having a season of their life, and because he's raised his standard and he's still scoring goals. I would never drop him, but he will get criticism when he appears to be, all about himself. If he's not passing, if he's not passing the ball, it's an issue.
Why can't we put that down to bad decision making? Why? If he's
continuous?
But listen,
Slim. What's leading to the bad decision making? That's the point. Is it your talent?
Right, and this is what I'm saying. The monkey on his back's probably leading to that decision making. And second of all good strikers are selfish. Now we know he's not a number 9, but let's have it right. just call him a striker because he scored 40-something goals last
Fair
season. So let's just call him a striker. So all good strikers are selfish.
Not all.
Yeah?
No, that's not.
Okay, most good strikers
Yeah,
are selfish,
yeah.
yeah? So Salah could fall into that category. He could have the utmost belief in his talent that when I get this ball, if I lash this ball, it's going to go in. There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
'cause
there's
that's
a
how some
difference,
people
Slim.
play.
No, but there's a difference between that. There's a difference between taking responsibility because you've got the talent, you're confident, and shooting, hoping you might score when the angle's shit.
There's a better option.
When there's a better option. Look at Aguero. Like, I don't know if it's because they look like he was in the leave or whatever, but Aguero still has these shots sometimes when you think, oh my God, that's a bit, tight angle. But more than often than not, he's sliding Sterling in on that inside channel, or he'll slide Sane in, and he might go for a return, and he doesn't moan too much if they shoot. Do you know what I mean? Like you've got Salah scored 44 goals last year, and did we ever call him greedy?
Yeah.
We didn't.
Well, okay, near the end of the season, it looked like it, but he was contributing.
Yeah,
he was involved in some of those beautiful counter-attacking football we've seen. He was involved in passing it to this person to pass to that person.
I don't
happened.
think anybody minds him being greedy. I just think in those situations
Huh?
when you could, no, what I'm trying to say is you can be greedy as a striker. Like Stem says, most strikers are greedy. It's not that. Let me just clarify that. It's just that in those moments, and he's a smart footballer. You can see it. Just make the right decision. That's what we're saying.
Do you know
I
what
think
it is
has-
as well?
Go on,
It's
Sam.
like in this crunch period, where
You want-
every moment matters.
You want the goals put on a plate, and you want
the pressure is
the
there. We
results
want
scored,
what we call
secured.
in youth football. We want a sweaty, innit?
Yeah,
We want a sweaty.
Yeah, what we call in FIFA.
Yeah, we want a sweaty. So it's like just make your decision making right.
Secure the bag.
Yeah.
Secure the
Secure
bag.
the bag. There you
Secure
go.
the bag.
Nailed it.
Don't just think about yourself, because you realise that every moment is going to be pivotal and it's going to be critical in these last few
I've
games.
just thought of
And
something.
So in that respect, just kind of calm down,
Secure the bag.
secure the bag. It
100%.
doesn't matter
Nail
what
it
that
down.
means. You don't score the goal. Score the goal.
Don't
And
act
make
like
the
you're in
goal
the
easy.
streets.
Paul, you need to hang out with your kids somewhere. man. Seriously.
I knew.
In these streets.
I knew.
Secure the bag.
Uncle Paul.
I've just thought of a tactical reason why it appears worse. We don't play with 3 fucking strikers. We don't play with 3 Agueros. We play with a striker and 2 inside forwards. So Salah has to contribute to passing the ball because he's in that angle of the right hand side where he's got 2 usually in the box. He should be looking for as well as shooting. At the moment, he's always shooting. Apart from that beautiful pass to Mane the other day, he's always shooting. Or he's getting tackles, isn't he? A lot. The United and Everton games on that inside channel. Yeah. You're supposed to be playing 1-2s. We're not playing 3 strikers. Do you know what I mean? So all strikers are greedy, fair enough. But we don't play 3 strikers. Firmino should be the greedy one if he wants.
All right. Well, listen.
Sorry, Steve. Sorry. Let me just say, just one last point.
I'm playing. Go on.
No, I apologise. That was rude.
No,
But
that's cool. That's cool.
what I will say, question is, might he not be scoring because he's becoming predictable and not passing the ball?
Possibly. I personally feel he has been worked out a bit this season, and I feel like it's harder for him this season against whoever we play against. Hence why my next thing I was about to go on to before you brought up this question, Mane. Why Mane is getting so much joy? Because the focus for most teams is on Salah. And so now Mane's sliding in the back door. Do you understand what I mean? So
it's not just that as well. I just thought another thing, right? A lot of goals Salah scored last year were in the box. Do you know what I mean? He's doing too much by himself. He's not like we're like, oh my God, he's missing all these open goals.
He's not getting the ball in the box.
He's not getting a lot of chances.
Because he's not releasing
So
it.
what, you think some of his decision making is based on frustration because he's not getting as many chances as he was?
No, I'm saying that whatever.
I could co-sign
You
that,
have to
Sam.
count.
I'm just asking.
I could co-sign
Yeah.
that.
Caveat as well. Shout out hashtag midfield 3. If the midfield is not great,
Let's not do it again, man.
no, seriously, for Salah. This is the context of Salah. It's not the most. A lot of the times we haven't played the most creative midfield. So there's times when you're not going to get chances. Do you know what I mean?
No one's creating for him.
Yeah.
You know what, Paul?
Like
That's
last season,
that's
no
an
one's
absolute
creating
massive shout.
for
If you
him.
think about last season,
Ox was the supplier.
half of it was Coutinho and the other half was
Ox.
Ox, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
About
And now he
six-
has
about six-
No
nothing.
one. He has no one.
He has no one sliding
He's having to
a
do
through
it.
ball
He's
for
having
him.
to do it most of himself because where Salah was most dangerous last season was running off the back of people. They didn't know where he was. That ball was coming through
No
from
one's
the
playing
midfield,
that. Yeah.
and no one
Plus,
playing that ball. The only time that ball's coming is from a Van Dijk, from back to front, and it's not really helping, is
Actually, on
it?
that point, a quick cameo appearance when Shaq was in form.
and he was playing up front.
Yeah.
in
Well,
the
Shaq, you know,
4-3-1.
Shaq was always looking for that ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got nobody else. And
Because he put him in there for a while in that 4-2-3-1 because he was like, you know what, let's get him going that way. Do you know what I mean? And play Shaqiri. But Klopp, why not? You can still get him going that way.
It's just sick. It's just sick how everything goes back to the midfield. It's just you can't get away with it.
A football match is won and lost in
Yeah.
midfield.
No, but yeah. So there are a lot of factors that are. God, Jesus, losing my words now. There's a lot of
Salah.
factors involved in Salah's
Decision.
recent run of form. I'd say. Do you know what I mean? One being himself, and two being the
right
supply
foot.
that he gets. You know.
But we're not going to drop him.
No.
no talk.
No,
There's
we
no
can't.
talk of
way.
dropping
We
him.
can't
He's
afford
won-
to.
right now, 6 games to go, mate.
to be fair,
I'd slide a 12th player on if I could. Do you know what I mean?
in the Anfield South group, there was a little talk about selling him, wasn't there? I tell you, people need to get involved in that group.
You know what? If you listen, if we had the time and we could tell everybody everything that goes on in the Anfield South WhatsApp group, it'd make an amazing podcast.
We
But
wouldn't tell you join in.
Sadly, yeah, exactly. Sadly, we haven't got the time for that, so you have to join in. So if you do want to join in the podcast in the WhatsApp group, I keep calling it the podcast. Why? What's wrong with me today? If you want to join in the WhatsApp group, DM us your phone number and we'll add you to the group ASAP. Like I said, get us on Twitter at South Anfield, and on Instagram we're Anfield_South1. Yeah. All right, boys. What was I going to go to next? I've just lost my chain of thought doing that. Talk about Sadio Mane, because what we're not really going to cover today is the Fulham game, and he was amazing in the Fulham game. But let's just talk about him. The season as a whole he's having. I just want to touch on him really quickly, not too long. How amazing is this guy?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
He's definitely come back to best from the end of last season, when his head went down a bit and he was doing a madness. Always remember the game against Arsenal, that bizarre overhead kick. That wasn't needed. But we all turned around and said, look, Klopp will sort it out. We'll put the arm around him. And this season, he's just come on leaps and bounds. And what I like is he's just, you don't see him in the media spotlight bragging anything. He's just playing his game.
He's the epitome of a humble African player.
You like a humble
I do. My cousin Sadio, my guy. You know. Yeah, I mean, what can we say about Sadio other than we wouldn't be where we are right now without him?
Attitude has been brilliant.
Attitude's been brilliant. Application's been amazing. And he hasn't moaned. He's just got on with everything. Got on with everything. And for me, he's probably alongside. Obviously, Van Dijk's there, but he's been our best player this season alongside Van Dijk. And
he gets in team of the season now, Premier League, probably.
he should do. He does.
Yeah.
I don't think he gets the recognition he deserves.
He doesn't. But there are players out there like that, though, that it's just almost like there are people that they have to retire before people go, oh, that's Sadio Mane. He was a brilliant
he was
player.
excellent. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He could have easily got upset and become selfish when Salah was getting all the praise last season. He's just kept like plugging it away.
Let's talk. Just sorry to cut you, Chris. Talking about the selflessness of Sadio Mane, did you see how happy he was when that penalty went in against
dropped to the floor,
Fulham?
innit?
Did you see
Yeah,
the
he
celebration?
He was praying, wasn't he?
Yeah, he dropped to the floor in celebration, and then he prayed as well, like he'd actually scored the goal. Like
He looks physically as well. He looks like he's gone up a level.
Yeah,
he looks like
he does. Agree.
Do you know what that
Dynamite.
is, Paul? That's confidence, because you see how we're saying that
you
Salah
say
gets
football.
tackled a lot. Is the ground not soup there? Yeah, apart from the diet. Do you know that confidence that Salah had last season when he wasn't getting knocked off the ball? That's what's happening with Mane now.
He's looking hench.
It's like they're the same size, but he's just looking physically able to deal with any physical challenge.
do you know
Whereas
it might be the
Salah's
same
not at the
size,
moment.
Sam, but Mane his core is a lot stronger than Salah's.
Do you think so?
Definitely,
Like,
110%.
even if you think to Salah of last season and how he was strong and
they
holding
talked
the ball.
about Salah last season, there, about
No.
his core.
No, Salah for me is very lightweight. For the way he plays, the way he backs into defenders, I feel he's not. I shouldn't say very lightweight. I don't think he's strong enough to do that. I think he needs to do more yoga and work on his core. And that's not even a joke. I'm not even joking. I think his core strength needs to be stronger, because he falls down far too easily. Mane he's a beast. Mane is so strong.
Humble African.
No, the thing is, if all, and like I said, I don't want to go as a negative, but I think if all three of our forwards sort of like took, not three of them, but took some of Firmino's selflessness and applied it to their game, I think we'd walk away with the league. I just think the reason why our front three was so potent last season they were playing for each other.
There's been times it's so blatant. I'm not sure if anyone's watched, but I've seen it so blatant where even Mane looks like to me refused to pass to Salah. I'm talking about times when you've got the ball and the guy's creeping round the back or running across the centre back, and all you got to do is slide it through. You do your job and let him chase after it, and the ball hasn't come. And Salah's responded. They've been doing it tit for tat. They've been doing it tit for tat all season.
The funny thing is, I posted
bizarre.
to the original WhatsApp group. I posted a goal we scored against Hoffenheim last year, and it was a thing of beauty. It was just one touch, players sliding each other in, back heel from Mane and
Chan's
at the corner.
goal, yeah.
Beautiful. We were getting that week in, week out. Now you got to scream at your television for a man to pass the ball.
No, but in the controlled football that Klopp wanted this season.
No, I don't think it's a matter of us having possession and controlling the game. It's just when we're in an attacking force, we were like an arrowhead.
Or even counter-attacking.
Yeah, counter-attacking. We were arrowhead. We were cutting through everything because there weren't people waving off, and it was all about a unit.
Extensive.
Exactly. Going forward and attacking. I'm not gonna take the next pass because I can see you're about to slide in. I'm not gonna. It was beautiful. It was a thing of beauty, and I think that's what part of the frustration comes from. With maybe go a little bit over the board with Salah or Mane sometimes, is that we're not playing with that level of togetherness. The only one who's been truly selfless right the whole season is Firmino. Firmino would get a lot more goals if he played like Salah and Mane. He doesn't though. He's always putting the team first.
True.
Every time.
But
Mane's like, I think that when he went up front for a little bit, that he liked that bit of confidence that Klopp gave him.
Yeah.
He's scoring a variety of goals now.
yeah.
No, we talk about the Bayern Munich goal. We need to give
Jesus.
Bayern Munich one of the best goals
Oh,
What a goal.
Jesus.
What a last
Salivating.
few years.
Beautiful.
What a goal.
And then the
beautiful.
header, he scored about 2-3 headers. He's had headers off the bar.
I'm glad you brought it back round to Mane because I want to end it on a positive with that because he's been absolutely amazing this season and
Kept us in it.
I think if we do see this through, I think in majority it will be thanks to him. Obviously, you got your Allisons and your VVDs, etc. But yeah, Mane he's been amazing.
I'm going Senegal and having a party down there. You think I'm playing? I ain't playing. I'm going there. What's them things that you brothers wear? Them was it dashiki thing, man?
What do you mean? What's the thing you bring? Where you looking at me like? Where you going with this? Me people.
I got a British name. I'm saying you.
Okay. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Let's not get shut down before we even got going. All right, boys. So today, after that victory, is there a little bit more belief in the camp about this Premier League title coming to Anfield?
100%.
100%. Because whatever happens, we keep winning. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've had a couple of draws. We're not losing. We're sticking in there.
Can you see it coming home, Warren?
I don't want to jinx it. I'm just taking every game as it comes.
Oh, you've been saying that for the longest time,
I'm sorry. Anyone who knows me, I'm going to bring it back one last time. Selhurst Park, I weren't there. You guys were. I refuse to get
after going to Selhurst Park that day. It's
you know what? Right? Do you know what I must say? Yeah, as much as you're saying that, all of us here, apart from Warren, have looked into the future a bit. But every time I speak to Warren, he's never really looking into the future. No. He's the only one that's I could be right. He's the only one for me that staying steadfast. Even myself, I've slipped into looking into the future, looking at the fixtures, seeing this and seeing that. But I haven't really heard that from Warren.
No, I refuse to get hurt. That's my outlook. I'm not having Liverpool causing me an epic breakdown at the end of the season where I got high
Look, 5 years ago was a lot to deal with.
Yeah, and the nearly season was bad enough. It was that close. I don't want to jinx it. Same rules apply.
It might be.
Do you know what's in response to your question? As much as I'm confident, the last 2 games haven't really heightened my confidence.
Okay.
Because as much as it's great to get a last minute winner, we can't win the remaining 6 games like that.
Like that, yeah. Okay.
We won't have a problem against the other teams.
It's nice, and like you said, Paul, we've only got one left, haven't we? We've only got Chelsea.
That's the one.
So it could be down to that game, but we're not going to win that game like this.
6 left.
No,
we got 6 left.
You see, you're thinking too far. Already.
We got 6 left.
You're thinking the Chelsea game. I don't see the Chelsea game.
No,
I'm not even saying I'm just saying how we're going to win games, and we can't. The way we've won the last 2, not only is it bad for my hairline, for my heart, I can't deal with that. But we're not spray and pray, But it's more a question of like we need to play well. We've got 6 games. We need to play well, as in really well, for at least 4 of them. Yeah, because we can't be doing this. No, we can't get lucky.
But I've always said I feel we're going to win the Champions League. I'm not trying to.
You've always said that.
I'm not dissuade anything from the.
No, you've maintained that. You've maintained that
from our league
No, you said that. You said that, and you've been staunch in your stance. No,
Yeah,
cool.
so it could be a double. Could you imagine?
Do you know
that?
what's funny about that? Everyone's talking about Man City's quadruple.
Yeah, but no one's talking
No
about
one's
Liverpool
talking about a
doing a
possible
double.
Liverpool double.
That's
well,
cool.
fine.
I'm happy
That's
with
fine
that.
with me.
I'm happy
And let's
with
just
that.
quickly touch on the Champions League. I mean, we drew Porto in the next round, which isn't on paper the toughest tie.
Must be respected.
So we respect. I said it before in here. We respect every opponent, but before we play them, we look at what it looks like on paper, and on paper it looks like we should beat them. So
Be fine.
yeah. So the Champions League is looking.
Let me ask you one question. Let's say we get past Porto. Who would you rather face, Man U or Barca?
That is a tough question, Wes.
Yeah.
That is a tough question. I think if you play Barca, it's more of a football game. If you play Man United, it's more of a war.
That's gonna be a war.
It's a war.
But
it's
then
not
again-
just about football. It's because our whole history's come into it.
I'll take United. I think.
You take United. You take the war.
I'll take United.
Right,
okay.
And hope this time we don't go to war and just or be a bit fucking Napoleon on these.
I'd want
You know what I mean?
Barcelona.
A bit Napoleon, a bit clever.
100%
You'd rather
with
Barca.
you.
I want Barca.
I'm
I want
swaying
Barca.
towards
I
Barca.
don't think
want
Barca
Barca.
are a great team. I think Barcelona are 10 players and Messi. Honestly, I don't. They're not a good team. I watched them.
Ignorant speaking.
I watched them play a lot this season. They're not a great team. They've been outplayed by teams with a lot less talent than Liverpool on more than one occasion. I don't. This whole thing about, but that's a myth. That's when Pep was there. That don't exist anymore.
I would love Barca only to see the reaction Coutinho would get from our fans.
Forget about Coots, man.
Hey, look, you know how I feel.
It'd be
I feel
interesting.
about
It'd be interesting.
Nah, I
some-
don't-
It
want-
would be
I'd want
interesting
Barca,
to see. It would
100%.
be. It would be. I agree with you there, Wes. But I think I am swaying towards Barca. They like to play football. They're not going to come and try and do
Yeah,
a
but
job.
Do
you
you
know
know
what
what
it
it
is?
is, Slim? It's if we played United, the mental and emotional drain that
Yeah,
would have
you might
on
take it.
The league,
both
yeah.
clubs would have a massive effect
Yeah,
on
agreed.
our league.
Nail
That's a
on the
good
head.
point.
Yeah, whereas
100%.
playing Barca, it's almost a free hit because we're not expected to win. But playing United, that's a local derby. It is a war, like you
Yeah.
said, and it will affect our league.
Plus,
league
if-
form. So I'm
if-
like, nah, it's
If we're
alright.
5-0 up at home against Barcelona and Fabinho steps on Coutinho and then walks over him, I'll be happy.
You know what's
So that's what it's about for you, it's revenge.
you know what's funny about the styles, right? I think United, even though I'd rather play United, I think Barca are better than United. Like, I think they're better. I think United might win because they got the second leg at the new camp, and I think if we went to the new camp, Mane and Salah again might be made redundant if he goes with the midfield he usually plays in these big games. But when United go to new camp, if they're one goal behind or it's 0-0, 1-1 or whatever, Pogba to Rashford on that big pitch, he's do you know what I mean? We haven't got a player who will just say, look up and just pop it. Do you know what I mean? Pop it 30, 40 yards, ping it. And that's what's needed when you go away to the new camp.
No, yeah, what you meant? What's them do all the time?
Who?
You talk about passing the ball forward.
Yeah, for us.
Van Dijk does it all the time.
Okay, but you can't do it that quickly. I mean, his ball to thing was a floater. I'm talking about hit from an advanced position.
Okay,
Do you know what I mean? Midfielder.
okay.
Oh shit.
No, what's them can do it? What's them can do it?
Anyway.
Anfield
Fabinho.
South, episode 15, the
Yes.
midfield.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna have to do a whole episode on the midfield. Jesus.
End of the season. yeah, let's do
Anyway,
it.
well, it's looking positive in the Champions League, boys. It's looking positive with Porto coming up. But to bring it back to the Premier League, defeat today, would that have been title challenge over?
I think so.
Considering
Yeah.
City have Cardiff this week, I'd probably say yeah.
No. Because City's got that running of Palace, Tottenham,
3 times.
and
Leicester.
Man U.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is no way they can come out with all those games and win.
They got
can't.
Champions League in between that
Yeah,
against Tottenham
no way.
as well.
They
yeah.
will drop at some. We just got to do our thing.
No.
Yeah, but the thing is, if they'd have gone 3 points ahead, sorry, Paul, if they'd have gone 3 points ahead, because they got the better goal difference, we would have needed them to lose and then draw. So it would have been more than just the 3 points that they would have got. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I would have said it would have been not impossible, but tricky because of the goal difference.
City will get 4 points against United and Tottenham. They'll get 4 points minimum.
But that's enough.
not-
That's
they're
all
not
we
gonna
need.
lose
We
United.
only
They'll
need
probably
them.
beat
We only need
Tottenham.
them to draw. If they draw, that's it. Would there be a dealt?
They would be in terms of like if we lost today as well.
Oh, okay. You mean if we lost
You know what I
today?
mean?
Okay,
We have
yeah.
to win. We literally have to win every game.
What do we need City? If City draw, and then if City draw, say for example they draw their one game and then we win, does that make us level on points?
No, be 1 point ahead.
We'd be 1 point ahead.
Yeah. So if all things are equal and they draw one of the games, then we're 1 point ahead.
Okay.
Which is all we need, really. But I don't want to go into the last game. Anyway, I think I'll take it, to be honest with you.
So
Yeah, that's probably gonna happen anyway.
No, because you know what? Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Because the only thing going through my head,
True.
Connor Cody on the madness, yeah, and I don't need that former player of us last game of season.
Listen, don't worry about Wolves. They're likely to be in the FA Cup final. They'll be resting players for that game.
Calculator.
Calculator. I know you don't look ahead, yeah, but I have.
You're going to look ahead and do it right.
Yeah.
Look ahead like how Sam just did. I like that.
Don't worry about that for
We
now.
might be going to Ghana as well. You know what I mean? Celebrate. Do a tour.
Sam's like, don't worry about Wolves. They're gonna have food poisoning on that day.
Listen.
oh gosh. All right, boys. Well, it's that time, mate. It's that time. It's been emotional. I mean, apart from discussing the midfield every 5-10 minutes, it's been a good episode. And I promise listeners, next episode I'll have more control. Don't worry, I'll have the whip in the corner.
Sorry, host.
No, I'm playing.
Listen, you're West Indian, you mean brick.
No, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. Love having you boys here and being in charge of the reins. I'm glad you let me do this thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I quite enjoy it. But let's just send this one to bed. I've been Slim. Your host with the most as always. Today we've had Sam with us.
Thanks for listening, people.
Chris.
Apologies for the rants, people.
Paul.
Good night, God bless.
And last but definitely not least, Wazza.
Always a pleasure.
Until the next one.
It's unbelievable, it really is. I think they should stick to playing football. Terrible. What do you think, Kenny?